inside the Budokan, fending off Shinobi and Makuro, Obi Shotokan.
What's up, you guys? Kenobi with the Wise Guys, and I have a really crazy video for you guys. I know it's going to be really hard to believe this, but Konami, wait for it, Konami just dropped a ban list. It's effective on December 3rd, and there's not a ton of cards on this list, but what they hit and what they changed, I think, is going to be a tectonic shift in the Yu-Gi-Oh landscape. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just let's address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Firewall Dragon has been banned. I know it's hard to believe, you guys. Everybody said Firewall Dragon's not going to be banned. It's an ace monster for a protagonist in an anime series. There's no way it's going to be banned. But you know what? I know why this card was banned, and it's not because it's incredibly degenerate. It was ruining the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! No, it had nothing to do with that. This ban, I promise you guys, this ban was because the people in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community made it happen. They spammed every single Facebook post that Konami was putting out on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Page with ban Firewall Dragon. Hundreds of comments built up over dozens of posts over the course of the last 3 months. Thousands of comments. And Konami has a kind of a reputation for not listening to the player base, and there's a lot of truth to that. But at the same time, this is an example where they listened, guys. They listened, and the people who got Firewall Dragon banned are each and every one of you who made those posts. So thank you guys very much for being diligent. You guys saved the game. Bye-bye. Thank you, Firewall. No, thank you. You were great in Electromite Turbo. I loved you. No, you're gone. Stay away. Thank you. So next up, we have some other deep cuts into the degenerate decks that are basically ruining the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Armageddon Knight is at 1. That's a huge cut to the decks that were running the Dark Hero engine. Without this being able to send off Malicious and start the combos, it's just a big change to the overall Yu-Gi-Oh! Dynamic. It's just interesting to see how Konami structured these hits, because it's like they listened. It's, I know that a lot of people are really blown away by this, but Armageddon Knight's at 1, and then it works in conjunction with the next hit, which is Destiny Hero Malicious. Malicious is at 2 now, so it's not completely unusable. You can still get it into the grave and use its effect, but I mean, this is a huge blow to any deck that was running Dark Heroes as an engine. It's become super inconsistent. You are very unlikely to start your opening hand with Armageddon Knight. You have to use Rhoda to get it. It's just not consistent. It's not going to be useful in YCS level events. You might still see it at your locals for people who don't want to spend a lot of money building a new deck. You might see it at a regional. But this is not going to be a contender at the YCS level anymore. This engine in particular is not at this point. Without Firewall Dragon and without the Dark Hero engine, Goki is like Gumblar Turbo. How fast can we get Gumblar and try to rip a few cards from your hand? But there's going to be no degenerate extra linking, and you start the game with 1 card in your hand. That's not going to happen anymore. I certainly don't think. But yeah, so I mean, these 3 first hits were just huge. These are the only cards that were put on the Forbidden Limited list. Everything else is cards that were unlimited. So let's go ahead and move into the unlimited cards. Strap on your helmets, guys, because ABC is back. Assault Core A has been removed from the list. It's back at 3. I know that every ABC player out there is rejoicing. You guys knew that A did nothing wrong. It was all Firewall Dragon to begin with, and you've been rewarded for that. Assault Core A did nothing wrong. ABC is back, and as much as I hate playing that deck, I really do, it will be a meta contender again, and I think that it'll be really interesting to see what effect bringing this card back into the meta will have on the game overall. I know that a lot of people are like, well, I'm glad I held on to this one ABC Buster Dragon to put in my extra deck as a Cherries target. But yeah, guys, so this ABC is back, and it'll be really interesting to see how the return of A shapes the overall landscape in the metagame. But the next card off the list is going to be a huge win for a lot of you out there, especially for Greg Farley of the Wise Guys. Shout out Darth Pegasus, because Dark Destroyer is back at 3, you guys. Cosmo is now at full power. There's nothing standing in its way. Dark Destroyer stands as a giant check to what is certainly going to become the dominance of Sky Striker. I think that this is an incredibly wise decision on the behalf of Konami to bring Cosmo back now, if only because I get to listen to Greg talk about ships up, you guys. We're going back to basics. You know, he really loves that deck, so really happy for him and every other Cosmo player out there. So the last card that was on the list that got taken off was Called by the Grave. Everybody knows that Konami screwed up hitting this card. There was absolutely no reason to hit Called by the Grave to 2. It made no sense. We needed it to stop hand traps. I've heard somebody argue on occasion that Called by the Grave went to 2 because they wanted hand traps to be able to go off to stop the FTK, to stop the extra link. I don't know why anybody would think that logic. It made way more sense to just ban Firewall Dragon than it did to hit Called by the Grave. So Called by the Grave is back to 3, you guys. Big win for us players, especially for those of us who are really sick and tired of playing in games defined by hand traps. So big win. Very excited for the opportunity there. That's really it for the Forbidden Limited list. The thing is that the next one is going to be no sooner than January 21st. And, 2018 really, it really damaged my opinion of Konami and the way they handled the TCG. But with this new list, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they mean it this time. If we only had to wait 10 days to get a list, maybe they're trying to set a precedent going into 2019. Maybe they realize how badly they screwed up over the course of 2018, and now it's time to right the ship. I think that the list that we just went over was like an indication, like, yes, we're going to put the game into a healthy state. That way, going into 2019, we can reshape the game. And so we'll probably get a list sometime not too long after Savage Strike, I think, guys. And I think that's pretty crazy to think that we might actually start seeing a more consistent ban list. That maybe the time span between ban lists won't be as long, so we don't get these really stale formats that people don't enjoy playing in. And it's wild. Like, I think we're gonna do a video on what decks are good meta contenders here in the next couple of days. But I do want to state for the record that Sky Striker is still the best deck, you guys. It is without a doubt the most consistent deck. It has it didn't get a hit at all. The only thing that checks it was Called by going back to 3 and Dark Destroyer. I think ABC is still kind of a check, but this is a real big shift in the landscape. I don't know that we're going to be in a tier 1 format where everybody's playing Sky Striker and winning or losing. There's a lot more skillful Yu-Gi-Oh! There's going to be some decks that have been kind of dormant who have the ability to come back and still be major contenders in the future. But we'll talk about that in a future video, you guys. So be sure to please like, comment, and subscribe this video. Hit the notification bell so that way whenever the Wiseguys TCG puts out any Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Dragon Ball Super content, that you get the notification and can watch the video first. Thank you very much for watching this video. Really excited to be putting out more content, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Train inside the Budokan, fending off Shinobi and my cool. Obi Shotokan.